that go past the previous benchmarks that we saw previously. Classic example in Naruto being how in Naruto Part 1, Jonin level was considered a really big deal. And then you came out of the time skipping at people like Naruto and Sai and Sakura. They are all at Jonin levels of power. Kage level in Naruto Part 1 was considered to be this extremely exclusive high bar that not many people could climb up to, which is why Heavy Sasuke is a reminder that is Sasuke who does not have the Mangekyo Sharingan. That's Sasuke being able to destroy Team 7 and Yamato so easily. That's why it shocked everyone. But as we would continue to see the story as it progressed onward, Kage level became something that didn't matter as much because we were going into 10 Tails levels and demigod levels and god levels of power, 6 pass levels of power and beyond. With Kawaki, we have a current character who ended Part 1, and you could argue that at the end of Part 1 he was as strong as Jigen, slightly weaker than Jigen, or maybe slightly stronger than Jigen, but he was weaker than Ishiki and weaker than Burial Naruto, weaker than Code Without Limiters. The benchmarks at the end of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, as we had them, were Burial Mode Naruto, Ishiki, Damon, and Code, and most importantly Jigen. They were the measuring sticks that were used by the narrative, and Jigen was the therefore people were using to say, look, this is a new threat. Are they stronger than Jigen? Or are they weaker than Jigen? Can they handle a Jigen level threat? And you just scaled them upward from there, which made Damon tap dancing on Code's spine while singing Baby Shark do so hilarious and scary at the same time. There were levels to this game for expectations, and many of us expected Kawaki to come out higher and swinging at the fences as this big bad monster coming up out of the time skip. However, what we're seeing so far makes it feel as if Kawaki was a bit unnatural. When Boruto pulled up into the village, he wasn't even concerned about Kawaki, partly because his attention was locked in on Code. But given everything that we've seen from Boruto so far, given how high his base has been 3 years, it doesn't seem as if he's not worried about Kawaki as he currently is, because Boruto is already going so high above Jigen and isn't even using his Karma Shield that it's scary. Then we got the Shinju, who appear to be going even further beyond that, just based off what we've seen. So Kawaki looks even less impressive than before, and people holding Kawaki stocks are all selling before it crashes. That's exactly why I like what we're seeing here with Kawaki, because while he has clearly trained in the sense that he's shown better Dojutsu via the ability to use the Dojutsu multiple times without tiring out like we saw in Part 1, and he's also shown us that he's learned the ability to fly, so there is something there that we're seeing with Kawaki in terms of growth. But the most important thing is that Kawaki is showing us that during this 3-year time skip, he's actually walking the path that Naruto did during the initial time skip between the end of the 4th Ninja War and the first start that we had of the Boruto era. There was a 14-year time skip between the end of Naruto Chapter 16 and the Naruto Guidance Spring, 710. We know Naruto got stronger during that time, but his battle sense had gotten very rusty. Naruto, once he became Hokage for a majority of that time, became complacent with where his power was, and he didn't actually actively start training again until after the Shin Uchiha stuff. Kawaki is walking a similar path based on what we've seen. He's improved during that 3-year time skip, but his battle senses, they have dulled. Kawaki from 3 years ago was not going to get caught by a Claw Grime, a Rinnegan, or no Rinnegan, because his battle senses, they were razor sharp, because the only thing that he'd known for most of his life up until that point was true combat, fighting life or death battles via training with Jigen daily and getting punishments from people like Delta. When Kawaki was first introduced, there was a clear distinction between himself and the other members of Team 7, because he was someone who had a real sense of combat because he had seen real combat. That's not to say Team 7 had never experienced life or death combat, because they had, but the type of upbringing that Kawaki had, he was forced to endure something different altogether. Since he's been in Konoha living Boruto's life, the only person who he's had to worry about being stronger than him was Damon. The only real action that he probably had was competing with Misty, someone who at the start of the time skip, even using Sage mode, would have been strong enough to actually given all of his Hack's abilities. Now,
hey everyone, I'm Andrew Litchfield from Penny Investments. I'm a real estate developer in the Boston, Massachusetts area. I've always loved helping people get on their real estate journey, and I've decided to create a real estate coaching program to teach them just that. Getting started in your real estate journey, there's going to be a lot of questions that you're going to want to ask. So that's why it's very important to have a mentor that you're able to call and that's accessible to you to answer those questions. You know, for me, when I first started in real estate, I had a mentor that I was able to talk to all the time, and it made all the difference.
Yes, you're right. So one of the things working with Andrew, he's very accessible. He answers my calls, my texts, and even when he's not available, he gets back to me within an hour. Yeah, so the class was very straightforward. It was very simple to follow. He was very intentional about the material and making sure we understood each step. He answered all our questions. Yeah, I thought it was easy to understand. It wasn't complex at all.
It really doesn't matter if you have experience in real estate. I've seen firsthand with my students who come from all walks of life and different professions find success in real estate. Mentorship that I provide in this program, you can be successful too.
I heard about the program initially 3 years ago, and I remember seeing it, and it was so serendipitous because I had just been in 2022, writing down in my to-do list, in my journal, in my goals, that I wanted to find a mentor in the real estate development space. And I have tons of real estate developers that I have access to, none of which I would really think would want to start a mentorship. And so when I saw you make that post on Instagram, I just raised my hand with a DM right away, and then followed up and said, when does this start? What's the criteria here?
I mean, that's great. You make a great point. There are so many developers out there that have the knowledge that I have and the experience that I have. But what makes it great is that actually love what they're doing. Actually love helping other people. That's what I do. I really do love pouring my experiences and my knowledge into others. And I've been doing it so much and growing it over the years. And that's why last year I created a program so people can go there. So once you're enrolled in the course, here's what to expect. We're going to start out with